The word best gets thrown around quite freely. Best movie, best album, best airport, best chicken rice in Singapore. Similarly, best is quite easily thrown around when it comes to cars, but in my opinion, the best car is the one that most suits your needs. There are cars that wow with amazing power and that appeals to some people. Then, there are cars that have super high-tech features. Again, some people desire that. For other people, they just want something simple, accessible, and practical, and that's also perfectly agreeable. When it comes to EVs, the same is true. There are cars that are incredibly powerful, and there are also cars that are very high-tech. But again, what if what you want, what if what most suits your needs is an EV that is simple, accessible, and practical? That is where a car like this comes in, the MG ZS EV. One of the notable aspects of the ZS EV is its relative affordability. However, affordability shouldn't be an excuse for a monotonous drive, and this ZS EV is a great example. It puts out a respectable 133 brake horsepower and 280 Nm of torque for a zippy drive. Despite being one of the most affordable EVs in Singapore, it is perfectly capable on the road. The instant torque means that overtaking is easy and effortless, and even at highway speeds, it still feels composed and planted. And with a range of 320 km on a single charge, courtesy of a 50.3 kWh battery, you can leave the charging chores to the weekends for minimal hassle. Yes, there are certainly cars with much larger batteries, but for the typical Singaporean, 320 km is enough to cover nearly a week's worth of mileage, based on LTA's driving statistics. That means that with some sensible planning, you should always be plenty topped up. To top it all off, it is an EV that is easy and worry-free to operate. Some cars can overwhelm you with features and technology, and that's certainly not the case with this car. To be clear, the car has a bunch of relevant tech features, such as safety assistance features in the form of MG Pilot. It even has adaptive cruise control so you can keep a fixed distance with the car in front of you. But it will never be overcomplicated. When it comes to being practical and accessible, we of course should also talk about the car's interior. Get inside the ZS EV and you'll be greeted by large displays, a pleasant surprise in a car with such great value. The driver's display is a 7.0-inch unit flanked by a pair of circular digital clusters where relevant driving information is displayed. And you also get a 10.1-inch infotainment display. There's sufficient inbuilt functionality, though you will need a cable for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. While the displays go a long way in creating a modern and sophisticated space, it isn't the only thing worthy of mention within the ZS EV. There's a wireless charging pad so your smartphone won't run out of juice. The use of materials such as the carbon fiber look soft plastics and distinctive red stitching has also helped create a sporty and refined interior. If we move on to the rear, which is very important for a family car, we can see that there's a good amount of space, both in terms of headroom and legroom. Rear passengers are also treated to cool air from the rear aircon vents, while a panoramic sunroof enhances the already spacious feeling cabin. Finally, the ZS EV's large and usable boot with 488 litres of cargo space seals the deal as a perfect family car. Shopping trips will never be a problem when you are driving one of these. As you can see, the ZS EV delivers on a fairly traditional crossover template. You get good comfort, good space, and fast-free usability. Now, what about the car's exterior design? A tallish front end gives the ZS EV a boost in aggression, while its sealed-off front fascia works to soften its looks. Its design results in an approachable design that is in line with its easy-to-drive nature. The rest of the ZS EV's body is an archetypal crossover shape, with its side accentuated by curvy lines to arrive at a sophisticated and sleek look. Let's be clear, the ZS EV isn't going to be winning any design awards. But that's not what it is intended to do. Again, this is catered to drivers who want a simple, practical, and accessible EV. And hey, in today's context, what is more simple, practical, and accessible than a crossover SUV? So, what do you want out of your EV? If you want absolute power, there's a car for that. If you want absolute features and technology, there's certainly also a car for that. With the ZS EV, what MG has created is an EV that checks all the relevant and important boxes for a driver that wants a practical, sensible, and affordable family-friendly crossover. It's stylish, spacious, easy to drive, and just so easy to use, suiting the needs of a good proportion of car owners. And the fact that it is a Cat A car, even better.
And that is why the MG ZS EV has been recognized as the Sgcarmart Electric Crossover of the Year.